Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Nurriyatul Saleh. I'm from 5D. Today I would like to give some explanation the importance of managing English for young learners. And for the first is the assessment of the student progress and how to they achieve in English for young learners class and should manage the career in that does not cause anxiety in the student. So it's mean as a new English for young learners, curricula have a move in the direction of developing and communicate. Okay, I will next continue about alternatives in assessment. According to Pierce and Omley, define alternative assessment as any method of finding out what a student know or can do that is intended to show growth and inform instruction, and is not a standardized or traditional test. Specifically, alternative ways of assessing students take into account variation in student needs, interests, and learning style, and they attempt to integrate assessment and learning activities. Also, they indicate successful performance, highlight positive traits, and provide formative rather than summative evaluation. Using formative assessment can help decrease the level of anxiety generated by concentration on linguistic accuracy and increase student comfort zone and feeling of success by stressing communicating fluency. Some teachers and researchers call for allowing students to have a say not only in deciding the format of test, but also in deciding its content and the way it is administered. A final characteristic of alternative assessment technique for young learners is that they are performance based, requiring students to perform authentic tests using oral or writing communication skill. This technique can include traditional classroom activities such as giving oral reports and essay ratings. But they may also involve non-traditional tasks such as cooperative group work and problem solving. Teachers score the task performance holistically. Student performance should be measured against standards previously discussed in the class. Okay, next material can be explained by my friend.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Vermita Yuliasma. Here I want to explain about the type of student response. Many techniques of alternative assessment were developed in line with the taxonomy of student response type identified by Krashen and Terrell at 1983 and adapted by Olsen at 1992, which suggests that there are 4 stages of language development in first language or second language learners. The first stage is pre-production, in which learners have a silent period and their performance indicators are mostly kinesthetic in nature. During instruction assessment, teacher may ask students to point, act out, choose, mark, gesture, and follow instruction. The second stage is early speech, in which performance indicators are kinesthetic response and 1 or 2 word answer range. Teacher can ask student to name, number, list, and group words or phrase. The third stage is speech emergency. The performance in indicator are 1 and 2 entourage, plus phrase and simple sentence. Students are asked to describe.
So my name is Nadila Tika Putri. I want to continue Christina explanation about the technique. The next technique is teacher conference. Conference can be most effective when they follow focused observation. Observation could be done in class or out of class. For example, in the class cooperative group, and out of class, for example, like playground. And according to Tambani, 1999, recommend the use of conference to assess the oral and written ability of the children. He too favors conference that follow of observation and concentrate directly on the learning process and strategy employed by the student. For assessing oral skill, for example, improve the communicate between teacher and student. And in the writing skill, for example, like conference could be used to discuss about essay and evaluate the progress. And the second is self-assessment. Young learner might also participate in self-assessment. Although self-assessment may seem inappropriate at first, it can yield accurate judgment student linguistic ability, weakness and strengths, and improvement. Self-assessment could be done using one of the following two techniques. For the first is KWL chart. KWL chart, with this type of chart, individual students provide example of what they want to know and what they wonder what they have learned before in the class. And KWL chart are especially effective when used at the beginning and the end of the course. And the next is learning log. Learning log is record of the student experience with the use of English language outside the classroom, include the when and where of the language used, and why certain experiences were successful and others were not. And the next technique is dialogue journal. Dialogue journals are interactive in nature. They take the form of ongoing written dialogue between teacher and student. Dialogue journals have proven effective and enjoyable for students regardless of their level of proficiency. They are informal and provide a means of free, uncensored expression, enabling students to write without worry about being corrected. And teacher can also use journal to collect information on student views, belief, and attitude and motivation related to class or program, or to process involved in the learning process of the language skill. And as assessment technique, dialogue journal can help the teacher assess student ability, writing ability, and improvement over time. And the next is peer and group assessment, because there are many problems about learning in the group. And then the last is student portfolio. Student portfolio may be defined as the use of record of student work over time and in a variety of modes to show deep, breadth, and development of the student ability. As a systematic collection of student work which may be shown to parents, peer, other teacher, and outside observation. A portfolio requires close cooperation between the teacher and student in identifying sample of the student work to be included. And since portfolio trace student progress over time, it is imperative that revision and draft be included and that all sample be that. And as for the content of portfolio, they should be multi-source and include a variety of written and oral work that illustrate the student effort, progress, achievement, and even concern. And then the portfolio should be include audio tab, video tab, notes and artwork, or conference observation to be proved in portfolio of student. And Finally, the portfolio could include sample of the tests and quiz that are periodically used by teacher as part of assessing the achievement and overall performance of their student in relation to others or to standard. And okay, we think that's all for our presentation. If we have a mistake, sorry, and we hope this presentation can be useful in our life or for us. Thank you so much for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Christina Simbolan, and I will explain classroom assessment technique. I think classroom assessment technique are relatively quick and easy formative evaluation method that help you check student understanding in real time. Thus, formative evaluations provide information that can be used to modify or improve course content, adjust teaching method, and ultimately improve student learning. And formative evaluation are most effective when they are done frequently and the information is used to affect immediate adjustments in the day-to-day. And the following assessment technique. Number one, nonverbal responses at early stage of learning before the emergency of speech. Children should be instructed and assessed largely to the use of physical performance responses. Number two, oral interview, such as using visual cues in oral interview at the early stage of acquisition. A student may be asked to choose picture to talk about, and the teacher is to guide the student by asking questions that require the use of the related vocabulary. And this technique works well during the early speech and speech emergency stage. Number three, role play. Use informal assessment technique combining or performance and physical activity. For example, represent historical event or literary character. Number four, writing narrative. Assessment of the written communicative ability of children could be achieved through purposeful, authentic tasks such as writing letters to friends and writing and responding to invitation. So, teacher can take advantage write narratives that relate to personal experience, retell or modify nursery stories and fairy tales, or retell historical events from different perspectives. Number four, presentation. Presentation are important for assessment because they can provide a comprehensive record of student ability in both oral written performance. Classroom presentation are nowadays becoming more PCK are result of increasing access to educational technology. In many parts of the world, students are becoming more aware to power of multimedia for communicating information, and they enjoy keeping audio, video, and electronic records of their involvement in class presentation. Number six, conferences can be most effective when they could be done in class. Have to develop as observational instrument for assessing learners oral performance in naturalistic language settings, which
focus on their seven language ability, understanding by others, providing information needed by the listener, absence of hasty hesitation, willingness and to participate in conversation, self-initiated assurance, accuracy and in grammar usage and vocabulary. And topic development, the use of competencies to access the oral and writing ability of children. So the next presentation by Tika.